Hey guys, welcome back. One of the things that's been on my mind today is the change process and the inevitability of change. I always think of that serenity prayer that is part of so many 12-step programs. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I always think about what's within my control and what's not within my control. Um, also think about within me, within my control, outside of me, outside of my control. That's been something that's really helped me over the years. But today, specifically, I've been thinking about kind of the change that is happening in my life, that's been happening in my life um, really for the last 7 or 8 years, but specifically what I've been focused on in changing deliberately and intentionally over the past year and a half since I quit my job. I'm trying to transition out of full time work into retirement, but that's not going to happen the way that I thought it would. I know I'm not alone in that. I think many of us go through that. Um, I grew up and was taught that if you work hard, get a good job, um, you know, work, and then you get to retire someday and be happy. And now I'm finding out, right? We're all finding out, we're all realizing that that's probably not going to be the way things go down. I'm not going to get all political. There's no point in that. But it does have a personal impact on me, of course, as I get near to retirement and really wanting to just stop working for a living and um, work doing the things that bring me a sense of joy, that bring me a sense of peace, that I'm interested in, that light me up, rather than just having to work for money. And that's part of why I joined the cohort, um, designed to build options for myself because I do want different options. I don't want to have my time owned by other people. I don't want to have to do a job that I'm not happy at, or that I feel like that I've reached the pinnacle of that in terms of where I want to go and what I want to do, and I'm just now doing it because I have to do it. And that's part of what I had reached a point, right, of burnout, where I just couldn't do it anymore. It wasn't a matter of I don't want to do it. It was a matter of I can't do it anymore. I just can't do it. I don't have it in me to do anymore. And that's when I heard that little voice that said, just quit. And I did. I trusted that voice, which was the beginning of reconnecting with my higher self, reconnecting with my own intuition, learning how to trust myself again after going through a period where my trust in myself, my trust in other people was at an all time low. When you experience significant betrayal, trauma, whether it be financial, infidelity, whatever it happens to be, friendship, um, it leaves you questioning so much. It left me questioning so much. I don't know what it left you, but it left me questioning so much. And really, how could I have not seen these things that had happened? And what did that say about me and my judgment? And I'd suppressed my desires for so long because I was trying to protect somebody else's feelings, I think, and that didn't really work out very well either. And so, learning how to trust myself, learning how to trust this change process, learning how to live in that process has been challenging at times. It's been very overwhelming at times. It's been scary at times. It's been infuriating at times. I've just experienced a whole range of emotions around living in change and getting to that place of surrender, of knowing the difference between what's in my control and what's not within my control. And so I've been thinking a lot about that today and the direction that I want to go in my life and how to get there, and really trying to nail that down and get a little bit clearer about that, about the vision that I have for what's coming next. And again, I know that I'm like a lot of you, that I'm just trying to transition, to go from one phase of my life to another, and not really sure what that's going to look like. But it all, for me, had to go back to building that relationship, rebuilding that relationship with myself, learning to trust myself, learning to trust my voice, learning to trust my intuition, learning how to trust my feelings, and not discounting them because they had been discounted by others for so long, um, that I was so disconnected from how I felt and what I wanted. And then somehow thinking that what I wanted didn't count, that didn't matter, that it wasn't important, and that I could accept less than what I wanted. And I'm not doing that. I'm not going to do that anymore. That's for sure. At least I hope not. I think I've learned through this painful process the cost that takes out of me, and I don't ever want to do that again. I don't ever want to be in that place where I don't trust my own intuition, that I don't trust myself, because getting that back, that confidence in myself, that love and compassion and understanding and support for myself, has been part of this change process. And it's taken a long time, and it's not been an easy process at all. And I'm having to draw upon all of that now to figure out what comes next. And while at times I feel very excited about that, and I'm ready to go, at other times I'm like, oh my God, this is so scary, um, because I can't see it. I can't. And that's part of what I think I'm going to have to spend some time figuring out, is what exactly am I aiming for? Not like, oh, I got to get to this point. I don't know. That sounds contradictory, doesn't it? Um, what is the vision that I have? And it doesn't necessarily mean about external things, although that's part of it too. Um, but really, what is it that's going to bring my soul joy and peace? Because if my soul is at peace, and I live with a sense of joy and alignment with what my soul is guiding me towards, then the rest of it just all falls into place. And I know that I've lived that, I've had that experience before. But when change comes knocking and you're not ready to answer who's at the door, but you have to open the door, you're really not sure what's going to happen at that point. So that's kind of where I am. I'm just trying to roll with the changes. I'm trying to go with the changes. Um, I'm trying to appreciate the changes that are happening, to be excited instead of scared about it. Um, because I do have a part to play in all of it, right? I get to decide what I want to create, what I'll tolerate, what I won't tolerate. And if something is not to my liking and I have the ability to change it, then it's my responsibility to do that. And if I don't, then I need to have the wisdom to surrender to that. So let me know, where are you at in your change process? Were you trying to surrender at this point in your life? How you're doing, and what kind of wisdom that you can share with the rest of us? Thanks. See you soon.